What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel, back with another video, back with another episode of The Wind Down. And as per usual, my disclaimer, I'm 23 years old, I'm grown, I work for a living, I drink wine. If you're not over the age of 21, I wouldn't suggest it. Legally drinking only, and drink responsibly. So, this week's topic is dating and COVID during the holidays. Now, let's just jump right into it. So basically, this video idea, and I have to give credit to a very dear person that's still close to me, gave me this idea to do COVID and dating, but I just put the holiday spin on it. In my personal experience, it's been fairly difficult, and I'm pretty sure for a lot of other people it's been really difficult to date during, and be in a relationship, I should say, not even dating, but to be in a relationship during COVID, this COVID era. I know for me, like, in my past relationship, things have been kind of difficult, especially with like meeting up, seeing each other, because we live in different states, and that's what really makes it difficult. Also, you know, our living conditions are different. Like, their house has more young people, and mine, I have older people in my house, so I can't, you know, take as many risks as they can, because I don't want to bring it back, you know, to the people I love. And even though you love that person, you still don't want to sacrifice your family. So it's been a lot of cognitive dissonance is the word I'm gonna use, or phrase I should say, to describe this, because it's a lot of irony in it. Like, you don't want to sacrifice the people you love, but even just traveling to see each other, you know, we're not like super far across the world. We're only like an hour and 30 minutes away from each other. Something dropped over there. It scared the daylights out of me, yo. So, like I was saying, you know, we're only traveling an hour and 30 minutes to see each other. So, but even with that, you still take the risk and, you know, into account. I just think, you know, for me personally, being as though I'm in a situation I'm in living wise, I don't want to take that risk and bring it back to my family. Although it's like, you don't want to neglect the person that you're in a relationship with, because you obviously love them and you care about them, you want to see them. You know, because we went months without seeing each other for, you know, it seemed like an eternity. It's hard. So, I mean, like, if you take the regular safety precautions, like wear N95 mask if you can get your hands on one when traveling, if you're going to do public traveling. Because for us, we took the train to see each other, because like I said, I'm in Maryland, they're in DC, so taking the MARC train is a fairly easy way of getting between DC and Maryland, like, fairly fast. So, I don't know, it's just trying to take those precautions, like getting a hotel room because you want to stay in like a neutral area, because of, like I said, the living conditions, you know, making sure you sanitize the entire hotel, making sure that where you're staying is a relatively COVID-free area, and the hotel that you're staying at is also taking those precautions. So it's a lot to take into account when just seeing each other and wanting to be around each other. And it gets really, really difficult. And I know, in my personal experience, it put a big strain on the relationship, because, you know, they wanted to be able to see me, which is a valid point, I feel. But it's like, when, you know, both parties aren't focused on necessarily being safe at all times, you know, it kind of makes things a little bit harder. And I didn't want it to come off as like I'm controlling, or I want them to do this when I want them to do it. It's more so like, this are the precautions that we have to take right now. I know it's not fair. I don't think anybody, and let me know how you feel in the comments, I don't think anybody is really comfortable with what's going on right now. Like, I don't think anybody is, to be 100% fair. But I think we need to be able to, when you're in that relationship, you got to be able to come to an understanding. Their viewpoint was, well, the only way you're really going to be 100% safe is if you just stay home, not even go to work, which is true. But you lower your chances when you're safe about when you're going out and how you're going out. And I just didn't feel like they were being 100% safe. You know what I mean? Like there was always some leeway or an excuse as to why, you know, we should or shouldn't be doing this and who we're doing it with. And they had a scare recently because somebody they were hanging around caught coronavirus. And I know 4 of my close friends actually ended up catching coronavirus. So it's like for me and for them, they started taking it a little bit serious, but it seemed like it was too late at that point for the relationship anyway. And I think being on the same page discussing what precautions each of you are going to take is like extremely important. I feel like that conversation needs to be had before meeting up with each other, and then whilst with that person, when you met up with them, have that conversation like, okay, what are we going to do? What precautions are we going to put in place to see each other again next time? Like before, you know what I mean, before y'all leave from seeing each other. It's hot. I got a lot of hair, y'all. I think those are really, really important. I know outside of relationships, in this time of year specifically, the holidays are kind of the hardest because you want to see your family, you want to see your cousins, grandmas, uncles, aunties, what have you. And I get that you guys want to see everybody and you want to be around each other, but it's just not that time. You know that song? What's it? Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. It says, as the fates allow. The fates didn't allow this year. They didn't allow. So let's just chill. Let's relax. Let's stay back and let's be in the house and let's do what we didn't do this summer. I mean, to be completely honest, because there wasn't like strict rules and regulations in place for COVID, we're still dealing with the stuff that we could have had gone a while ago. And I'll be honest and frank, like obviously we didn't have the knowledge to eradicate coronavirus in the beginning of it. Like when we first did shutdowns and stuff like that, the public didn't have that knowledge. But now that we're armed with knowledge, you know better, you do better. So if you know getting rid of it would be a part of it would be you staying home and not going out and spreading it, I should say, then do that. Stop. I feel like we complain about everything that comes with COVID. And at first I thought it was just like left-wing people who supported Trump and, you know, racist people. I thought it was just them. But then when I look into my own community, I'm like, okay, we got people saying bump staying inside, bump wearing a mask, they going to go party, I don't feel like wearing my mask, whatever, what have you. Oh, well, we just going to do this. It's just because everybody's going based off of what we knew at the beginning, like, oh, this no more than 10 people. Okay, but still out of that group, somebody could still have it and then spread it and go around spreading it to the rest of your families. And I think that's not taken into account. We still need to be practicing social distancing because we haven't gotten rid of it. So wear your mask, stay 6 feet apart, and be safe. Use what you know. If you know better, you do better, like I said before. So use what you know to do better. I feel like because we've resisted the things that would help get rid of coronavirus, like now they're talking about a vaccine being out within the next month to 2 months. And everybody's like, well, I ain't taking that vaccine. And I'll be honest with you, I'm scared to take the vaccine. But I work 7 days a week. And I take that risk every day working with the public and bringing it back home to my house. I'm going to have to try it. I'm going to have to see what's up with it. I don't want to. Let's be real, but I'm going to have to try it because I can't bring that back home to my family. We can't sit here and resist coronavirus and be like, we can't not resist coronavirus, but we can't sit here and resist the precautions put in place to eradicate coronavirus, complain about it the whole way through and be like, why is COVID still here? Why in Australia have they eradicated? Why have other parts of the world have they eradicated and dealt with it and it's gone? And it's just fairly simple. They did what they were supposed to do and we're not doing that. So you can't say, oh, I don't want to wear my mask. I don't want to stay inside. I want to see my friends. I want to socialize. I want to see my family. Oh, it's just family. I'm fine. That's the biggest ways you spread it, is being around family and friends, people you know. And those are the people you want to hurt the least, correct? So it's just like, take those precautions. Stop complaining. Do what it takes, because at the end of the day, sitting up here and resisting everything that's put in place to deal with COVID-19, It's only going to make things worse. We're only going to be dealing with it longer. Like, nobody wants to wear a mask. Nobody wants to stay inside. And nobody wants to take the vaccine. So we're just going to keep dealing with it. People just going to keep getting sick. Because people think that, oh, if you got it once, you can't get it again. That's a lie. I know somebody who's had it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So, and then it's like 98 percentile survival rate. But then if you're like, okay, that's for people who are young and in shape. Then you go around your friends who are either out of shape. Then they take it back to their families, who have older people, or, you know, people who just have immune deficiencies or whatever, what have you. You don't know everybody's situation. So to be so selfish and to not think about the other people that you're affecting is just kind of the American way, honestly, if you think about it. Because that's what we do. We don't think about other people twice, and we do what we want. That's what we're known for. So it's just like, is this what we want to continue to be known for? Because it's honestly sickening to continue to hear people complain and whine and bitch and moan, honestly, about how, oh, COVID's ruining their life. COVID stopped their bag for this. COVID did this. COVID did that. But you're not doing anything to stop COVID. You can constantly complaining, but not doing anything to help the situation. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's honestly an oxymoron. You sit here and complain and whine about what we have to do in order to get rid of it, and then complaining that it's still here. It's still going to be here if you're not going to be able to take the precautions to get it out of here. It's still going to move around the country. It's still going to move around your community, and there's nothing we can do about it. And I'm never going to forgive y'all, because I remember when people was on Twitter talking about black people can't get COVID. I still feel like some people feel that way. Even though our communities are the ones that's being hit the hardest. Like, black and brown communities are being hit the hardest, and nobody wants to take accountability for it. The government's not going to take accountability for it. They know it, but they're not going to take accountability for it. So we got to take accountability for ourselves. Do the things that is going to save ourselves and our community. If you don't want to take the vaccine, go home. Go home, Roger. Stay in your house. If that's what if you don't want to do that, then just follow the guidelines, bro. Like, y'all think just because the CDC says something, or they trying to control you. They're trying to manipulate you into doing something you don't want to do. Do you want to get sick? It's so simple. You know, I have friends that work in hospitals and stuff like that. They're nurses and techs and stuff. They see this on a daily basis. They deal with the same people who are like, oh, I'm not going home. Oh, but I'm not going to wear a mask. Oh, but I want to go out to this party. That's the kind of people they deal with. It's not the people you think. It's not the people who are outrageously against COVID-19. It's the people who just don't care, who just don't think about it twice, because I'm not going to let that stop my bag. I'm not going to let that affect my life. You know, I took a 2-week leave of absence off of my job because I thought one of my coworkers was sick. Did I let it stop my bag? No. But did I risk my life? Absolutely not. What's more important, 2 weeks of pay or my life? Let me think for a second. I thought about it. It's my life. You can't make a bag if you're dead. You can't make a bag from a hospital room. You're not Oprah. So, like, stop what you're doing. Think twice before you do it, and consider the other person. Consider the other people around you, and consider who they live with. Consider their homes. If your best friend is inviting you out somewhere and y'all want to kiki and lollygag, okay, cool. But you know, X, Y, and Z's friends, they live with people and they live with their mom and dad still. But you cool with them taking that back home to them because you don't have to deal with it. It's selfish. It's a selfish mentality to be like, oh, I'm not going to, you know, even though I go to work, I risk it all anyway. Yeah, you go to work and you social distance because those guidelines are put in place and you have a mask on, you have a shield on, but you don't take the time out to do that when you're with your friends. Why? Why is it also different when you're socializing? Because it's not. Those are the same people that live in the same town, that live in the same space and use the same air that you use. So the contradiction to say, well, oh, I risk it at work, but not as many chances do you take at work. No matter where you work, a nursing home, a hospital, no matter where you work, do you risk it as much as when you decide to take your mask off, stop the social distancing guidelines, and do whatever you please? There is more of a chance increased of you getting it. And for my smokers, because I was a smoker at a point in time. I can't smoke no more, but I was a smoker at a point in time. We all know this. So it's just like, the whole matching and ciphers and linking up and smoking with people, that gotta stop too. Like, if you want to match with somebody, all right, you got your blunt, you got your J, you do whatever, but do it 6 feet apart. You know what I'm saying? Like, lower your chances, lower the risk. Don't just say, oh, because I do this, oh, I'm just going to take the risk anyway. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. At the end of the day, if you're going to leave your house and do what you got to do, at least be safe about it. At least consider the other person. At least consider the other people around you and what they're doing. I know for me, my friends look at me crazy because when I go out, I wear my mask, I wear goggles. They look at me crazy, like I got 10 heads. But at the end of the day, I'm not about to sit up here and continue to put my life at risk knowing that I don't have to. I don't get paid to go out. I don't get paid to socialize. I get paid to be at work. That's just the bottom line. I get paid to be there. So it's like, yeah, I'm risking it, but I also get paid. And I also, practice what I'm preaching. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, at the end of the day, if you take in accountability what you're doing and what the next person's doing, we could eradicate some of this. We could get rid of it. We could lower the chances and lower the risk. Because I know a lot of people are going to be against this vaccine. 100%. I see the Bell's palsy. I'm scared of that. I don't want that. I don't need that. Baby, I don't want that. But at the end of the day, we're going to have to take some precautions in order to get rid of it. Complaining and whining and moaning and just saying F it and doing whatever you want is going to get you nowhere. You're not, trust and believe me, just because you say, well, I go to work every day anyway, it does not mean that, oh, well, since I go to work, then I can go socialize with my friends. It's a great theory. It's a great idea in theory. But the facts behind the idea would say otherwise. And if you would like to ignore the facts and ignore the truth behind it, be my guest to be willfully ignorant. But when someone around you gets sick or yourself gets sick, don't complain. Don't look and be like, why me? You know why you. I don't want nobody to get sick. I don't want nobody to get hurt. I don't want nobody to die. Especially people I'm close to. But at the end of the day, we have to take accountability for our actions and what we're doing in the world. And I know that's hard for a lot of us because we're young and we don't feel like it, having that pressure on us, being inside, being told what to do. Like, we're grown, we live on our own, we pay our own bills, all that yada, yada, yada. Okay, cool. But at the end of the day, it's not about you. It's not about your house. It's not about your bag. It's not about none of that. It's about all of us and a collective effort to make this a safer place for one another. I know that seems like a foreign idea, but think about it for a second. Now, I know y'all thought I was about to come on here, right, and be all holiday spirit and cheery. A little wind down. Now, I'm just giving you food for thought. Think about what you do before you do it. Think about somebody else before you do that. Put thought into your actions. Take accountability for yourself and for your friends and for people around you. Put the onus on yourself. Don't just be like, oh, well, this is that, and so we just gonna be whatever. This is what we living with. But it don't have to be that way. It doesn't. So think about other people when you're doing stuff, when you're going out, when you're with your friends, whatever. Think about the other man. Think about your friends. Think about your significant others. Think about their families and what might be the consequences of you bringing that to some person. I know for a fact people don't want to feel the guilt of being like, you were the person that brought this here. This was your fault. The reason why X, Y, and Z, they're sick. The reason why X, Y, and Z is gone. That's your fault. You don't want to feel that type of guilt on top of already being sick. So think about that the next time you go out without a mask, or you don't want to social distance, or you just want to say F it and be around your friends. Because this is more serious than it is. If we're looking at this on a grand scheme of things, we first found out about COVID-19 in February of this year, 2020. We officially went on lockdown in our country in March. It's December. We're in the same spot, if not worse. Think about it. Are we doing better for others? Are we doing better for ourselves? We know better, we do better. At the end of the day, you look at all the other countries around the world, they're looking at us like we willfully ignorant. We're supposed to be one of the world's superpowers, and we sit up here looking dumb. In the house, wearing masks, not being able to go out when we knew about it. We got to do better. But other than that, y'all, it's been fun. It's been lit. And I will see y'all next week with another episode. Be safe, mask up, and stay 6 feet apart. Give me my 6 feet, y'all.